Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my For Hire deck profile. So, if you haven't had a chance to see For Hires, they're a really fast-paced deck. The small ones can bring out the big ones, or any other For Hires from their hand. And when the small ones special some of the other ones, and the other ones hit the field, the small ones get effects, and their effects go off. And it's really, really fast-paced. You can really you can fill the board up really fast. It has monster negates, spell negates, banishes cards from the graveyard. It has all of it. It's a ton of fun to play, and it's really budget friendly. Even the secret rare versions of the cards are budget friendly. So without further ado, guys, let's get right on into it. To start off, we're going to be playing tied with my favorite for hire is Raphael, Champion for Hire. What this card does is if the card is special summoned, you can activate the top cards of your deck equal to the number of monsters for hire you control different names. Set this card, and if you do, add one of them to your hand and then shuffle the rest back into your deck. Now, the second effect is what's really, really powerful. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can discard one card for hire and negate the activation. It doesn't destroy, but it does negate, so that's really, really good. And you can only use each effect of Raphael Champion for Hire once per turn, so just having a monster negate on the field is really powerful, and he has a big body of 2800 attack and 22 defense. If you get him and Sage out, that's really powerful. You can really lock your opponent out. So moving on, we play 3 Beat Bladesman for Hire. This is probably my favorite one, actually. What this one does is, so this one has the effect that during your main phase, you can special summon one for hire monster from your hand, except another copy of this card. And if a for hire monster is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, except during the damage step, you can add a for hire monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. So I'm always looking for Beat on my opening hand. Definitely the Searcher, really, really good card. If we don't have Raphael, but we need him, we can search him. If we don't have Sage, but we need her, we can search her as well. This is a really, really good card, and I definitely recommend playing this at 3. For the next 2, we play 2 Wraith Sage for Hire. You can bump this down to 1, but I like it at 3 just for the negate. This one has Spell and Trap negate, because what this card does is when it's special summoned, you can gain 500 life points for each for hire monster you control a different name, except this card. When your opponent activates a spell, trap card, or effect, quick effect, you can discard one card for hire, negate the activation. You can only use each effect of Wiz for Hire once per turn. So like I said a minute ago, if you have her and Raphael out, that's tough getting your opponent with a monster negate and a spell and trap negate, as long as you have the resources in your hand, which you more than likely will. I play 1 Dyna Hero for Hire. This one banishes from the graveyard. If this card is special summoned, you can banish cards from your opponent's graveyard up to the number of for hire monsters you control different names, including herself. And you can only use this effect of Dyna for Hire once per turn, Dyna Hero for Hire once per turn. And she also has a protection effect. The monsters your opponent controls cannot target for hire monsters you control for attacks, except this one. So just protection for your Sage and your Raphael and whatever else you have out in the field. We play 2 Bravo Fighter for Hire. Bravo's good. I wouldn't play Bravo any more than 2. Might get a little bricky. What Bravo does is, once per turn, you can special summon for hire monster from your hand. Just going to abbreviate that to save time from now on. But when a for hire monster hits the field while you control this face-up card, you can have all monsters for hire you are currently on the field gain 500 attack and defense to the end of this turn. So if you get Raphael out using Bravo, he'll get to 3,200 attack, and this card will get to 2,400, and you can really attack for game, depending on the situation. But this is a really good card. Like I said, I really would only play it at 2, though. For the next 2, we play 2 Seal Strategist for Hire. When can special summon one for hire monster from the hand. From now on, I'm just going to not say that because the rest of these guys can do that unless I say otherwise. When a for hire monster is special summoned to the field while you control its face-up card, you can target one for hire monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So just really good to be able to get a body out in the field and then get our resources back from the graveyard as well. For the next 2, we play 2 Helmsman for Hire. When a for hire monster is special summoned while you control this face-up card, you can discard one for hire card and draw one card. So this one's good for draw power. If we have a little bit of breaking hand, doesn't happen too much, but it happens to everybody and it'll happen to you eventually. So Helmer really helps out with that. For the next 2, we have Recon Scout for Hire. Can special summon from the hand when a for hire monster hits the field while you control this face-up card. You can target one set card on the field and destroy it. Doesn't have to be a spell or trap. So this one's really good. If you would, I would recommend keeping this in instead of Twin Twisters just for the power to special summon from your hand because that's what we want. I don't run Twin Twisters in this particular build, but you can if you want. But I don't really feel like you need to because of Recon. Next up is Tompa Marksman for hire. Tompa does the same thing except when a for hire monster special summon the field while you control Tompa, you can target one face up card on the field and destroy it. So Recon is set and Tompa is face up. Next up, I have one. If you have 3 of this, play 3. I know I have like 9 other of these. I swear I do. I cannot find them. I have no idea where they are. But Philo Messenger for Hire is a really good card. It was a card that the for hires really needed. When she can special summon as well from the hand, and when a for hire monster hits the field while you control this face up monster, you can target one for hire monster in graveyard and special summon defense position, but replace it at the bottom of the deck if it leaves the field. So that's really, really good because for hire is basically a 1 card link 3 play because you can summon Philo, bring out Raphael, whatever else, and then because of that you can special summon something else from your graveyard as well, and then immediately link off into your Falgo. Justice for hire. I couldn't remember his name. So Philo is a really, really great setup. If you have 3, definitely play us at 3. I think they're cheap. They're like under $1, I think. I would be, but I can't find mine. So right now I'm only playing 1, but definitely run that at 3 if you can. I'm only playing 1. I don't know how to say it. Saigeta Maverick for hire. I really debated whether or not I wanted to play one of her because what she does is if this card is special summon, you inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each for hire monster you control with a different name except this card. And then she has protection effect to where your opponent cannot target for hire monsters you control. Card effect except this one. That's really why I put her in. But you don't really see her that much. I mean, you can, search her and stuff, but she's good to protect your Raphael and your Sage and your Falgo. But I'd really only run 1. For the last 3 monsters of the main deck, just 3 Ashe because, we're trying to overwhelm our opponent with our board and we don't want them, we want them having as little resistance as possible. So just being able to Ashe them on their plays is really good. So we'll transition into the spells. We play 3 Mayhem for hire. This is a really good card. I really recommend you play this at 3. And the artwork's beautiful on it as well, which is always a plus. I'm a sucker for some good artwork, especially on a secret rare. What it does is a quick play spell. You can target one for hire monster in your graveyard and special summon defense position. You only activate 1 Mayhem for hire per turn. Really simple effect, but really powerful, especially since it's a quick play spell. If they get rid of our Raphael, we can bring them right back again. I play 1 Fendor the Flying Fortress. Now, I've seen this played at none. I've seen it played at 3 and 2. I like it at 1. You can play it at 2 if you want. It has a powerful effect, but so during your draw phase, before you draw, you can go your normal draw this turn, and if you do add 1 for hire monster from your deck to your hand, that's really, really good. Secondary effect is if you control 5 or more for hire monsters with different names. Now that's important. With different names, you can send this card from the field zone to the graveyard and destroy all cards your opponent controls, and then your opponent doesn't take any damage the rest of the turn. So it has a board wipe effect and a really good search effect, but your opponent is like gonna get rid of this card super fast if possible. So like you're really gonna have to play this, and then on that turn that you play it, you're gonna have to swarm your board with 5 different for hires, which is possible. I've done it before several times actually, but I don't know. I think it just kind of eats up space in the deck. Now, if you want to run it, if you want to go for this play, go for it. I'm not saying it's a bad play. I just think it eats up too much space, so I run it at 1. But if you run it more than that, go for it. I play 1 Rota because beat Bladesman for hire as a target for Rota, so they were basically playing 4 beat with this card, and it's definitely worth playing a Rota for in the deck. I'm playing 1 Reggae Key. I know a lot of you probably roll your eyes like, oh god, of course he's playing Reggae Key. Yep, sure am. 1 Monster Reborn. If you don't want to play Reggae Key, go. You don't have to. I like it. 1 Monster Reborn just to kind of bring back anything that we need. And then we play, for the last of the spells, 3 Call by the Grave, just because we search a lot. We search a lot, and we are not trying to get ashed. We are not trying to get that Heartbreak Ashe, like that one that's just going to be a heartbreaker. We don't want it. We don't want any part of it. So we're playing 3 Call by the Grave. Moving on to the traps. I'm playing 1 Training for Hire for all your training needs. It's a good card. It has pretty artwork in it. It has a good effect. There's other traps I'd rather be playing. so I only played it one. But what it does is, if the face-up monster or monsters for hire you control is destroyed by a battle or an opponent's card effect, you can target one of those monsters, special summon one monster for hire from your deck whose level is lower than the target's original level. And you only use this effect once per turn. So, like, if your opponent gets rid of Sage or Raphael, you basically summon out anything else from your deck because they're all going to be lower than that card. And this is, I mean, it's not a bad card. It's a good card. And it's continuous trap. So that's good. But there's just other things I'd rather be playing. But if you want to bump it up, go for it. So, for a tech card, I play 3. There can only be 1. This card is super crazy. I really recommend you playing this at 3. This card is nuts in this deck. Because all of our for hires are different types. So this card can like really shut down our opponent. We can have a board full of monsters. Our opponent only have 1 monster. So for those of you who don't know, there can only be 1. It's a continuous trap that has the effect that each player can only control 1 monster of each type. And if a player controls 2 or more monsters of the same type, they must send some to the graveyard so that they control no more than 1 monster of that type. It's a really tough card to get hit with, and it combos so well with this deck. I really recommend you playing at 3. You can really win with this card. And for the last 2, I'm just playing 2 Impermanence. If you don't have access to the card, it's still a $20 card. I really thought it'd be lower than that by now, but it's not. So it's still $20. It is, so if you're not able to get this card, just you play whatever you want. But I like Impermanence. I honestly might get rid of the other for hire trap card and play 3 Impermanence. But just the option to be able to negate our opponent's monster effects, even without Raphael, is really good as well. So moving on to the extra deck, I'm playing mostly pure 3 Falgo Justice for hire. What this card does is, bring it up a little bit, it's a lot of text. What this card does is 3 monsters of different types, not a problem for us. Link 3, 2400 attack. This is a really good combo card with Raphael. What it does is it can't be used as link material. This card is link summon. You can special summon 1 monster for hire of different type from the 3 monsters used for the link summon from your deck defense position. If a card or cards you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, if a card or cards your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can draw a card, and then if you control 3 or more for hire monsters of different names, draw 2 additional cards. So this is really good to combo with Raphael because he's the strongest of the deck. He can beat over most anything your opponent's going to have for the most part, and then being able to draw 3 off of that 1 attack or pop anything, that's really good. And then I'm playing a Boral Sword just because you can really make Boral Sword really easily with this deck because he's just 3+ effect monsters. Really go in for the OTK Boral Sword. We can get him so easily in this deck. Just the way we swarm the field. That's it for the deck, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't had a chance to check out the fur hires, I really recommend you pick them up. You can get the whole deck on eBay for like $40, I think. And there'll even be secret rares in there. If you want to bling out the deck, it's not going to be that much more expensive. They're not that really expensive. I think Beat might be the most expensive card secret rare. At least it was a few months ago when I checked. Haven't really checked since then. But yeah, a ton of fun to play. Really can overwhelm your opponent fast. And if you get the right cards out in the field, you can really lock down your opponent in a really fun way. That's it for the video, guys. If you haven't had a chance to, and you like this video, go subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. You can hit that bell, become a part of the notification team, and I will be coming up with an Emancipator deck sometime next week as soon as I get the rest of the pieces for it, and some other really fun ones as well. I'm really looking forward to those. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.